So, what do you think we're going to cover in this course? Well, we're going to actually cover a lot of things, but it's all going to be based around how can we maintain service availability in the event of some kind of failure. Now, one of the first topics we're going to look at is called NIC teaming. NIC teaming is actually new to Windows Server 2012, and it's going to allow us to have multiple network cards that work together, so it's going to increase performance. And if one of those cards fails, well, the other card's still there, it's still plugging away, and still able to continue to handle the workload. We're going to look at another new feature, that's the DHCP load balancing and scope failover. In the past, we actually had to set up a failover cluster for DHCP in order to provide high availability. But Microsoft now with Server 2012 has taken some of those capabilities and put them straight into the DHCP server. Now, there's never going to be high availability without failover clusters. Not only are we going to look at typical failover clusters, we're going to look at what's called a scale-out file server so that we can host multiple types of applications, and we're also going to look at Hyper-V failover clusters. You know, printing is always one of those things where it works or it doesn't, but when it doesn't work, you hear about it a lot. So we're going to look at how we can make our printing environment highly available as well. And then we're going to look at how we can migrate either our storage for our Hyper-V virtual machines or an entire virtual machine, including all the configuration files, to another server, and do this without any downtime. So what's one of the best ways to use this course? Well, typically when you take any course, you want to go through the process of watching the lessons. Now, you don't have to watch the lessons in order, especially if there are topics that you're familiar with. However, it's also a good idea, even if you're familiar with the topic, to go back and watch the lesson anyway, because there may be something in there that you didn't know. Now, anytime you're watching a lesson, if there's anything that you want to take notes about, pause it. Pause the video, take your notes, write everything down, and then continue on. In fact, if there's something that you think you missed, you can always rewind a little bit and do that one little piece again. And if that's not good enough, you can watch the entire lesson as many times as you want. In fact, you can even download some of the lessons from TrainSignal so that you have them available to you on your desktop, your laptop, or other portable devices. So, once again, how do we use this course? The best way to use this course is to gain some hands-on experience. You know, we can walk into a job interview with a piece of paper, but if we don't have some kind of practical experience that we can show, then that piece of paper doesn't do us a whole lot of good, does it? So what you want to do is set up your own environment, whether it's physical or virtual servers, and keep in mind that there's lots of different ways we can do this. We can have a workstation with VMware Workstation. We can have a Windows 8 machine with Hyper-V. We can actually build our own little server, whether it's Hyper-V server or VMware. But you do want to have the availability of some hardware that you can actually do some of these lessons on. Now, whenever possible, do the labs at the same time I'm doing them. Go ahead and listen to what's taking place, and go ahead and do it as we step through. Now, if you don't have access to hardware at home or at your office, you can go online to Microsoft Virtual Labs. Here's the link for you, and you can actually do a lot of the labs using the virtual labs that they have set up for you. Now, Windows Server 2012 is still available to download as an evaluation product. So if you go out to the link that we also have listed here, or you do a quick search using your favorite search engine, you can actually find the download link and be able to download a trial version, which means it's going to have all the features and all the abilities. It's just not going to be able to run past, say, 180 days. Now, as you go through a lab, don't get frustrated if something doesn't work right the first time. In fact, I prefer it doesn't work right because I want to be able to look and experience and figure it out. One of the best ways that we can increase our troubleshooting skills is when things don't work, especially in a lab environment. That way, when we have it in a production environment, we're ready to be able to take care of whatever comes across. Finally, don't just do the lab once, because doing it once does not get it to sink in. You know what they have on the back of a shampoo bottle? It says rinse and repeat. Well, that's what you want to do with your labs. Do the labs multiple times. Get comfortable with the interface. Configure a cluster wizard. So get comfortable going through the labs multiple times. And in doing so, it's going to provide you a hands-on capability that you're going to be able to show people that you know what you're doing. And think about all the practice you're going to get to where you can really understand what's taking place. So that brings us to the end of our Getting Started lesson. We have a lot more to cover, and I thank you for watching.